Then after this, when we talk further, then now we'll look into how the other things have unfolded at that point of time. Like we have already discussed on the situations here. Now what happened is that in the December month of 1920, there was the INC session that is going to happen in the area of Nagpur, and this was the general session that Congress generally had in the month of December, generally every year. So this was that particular session. Now see, prior to this session, the Congress had met in one particular emergency session, and in that session, it had accepted that it will participate in the non-cooperation movement, as we looked some time ago. Okay, that these particular people, they had, because of the Punjab wrongs that were done, so they had decided that they are going to participate in the non-cooperation movement, and their main agenda at that point of time, it is going to be on the demand of Swaraj and all. Now, when these people met in the Congress session of the Nagpur, here they are going to talk on certain other important provisions that are going to be there. And my dear friends, the UPSC has asked a question pertaining to this particular thing in this year also and in the previous year also. So the Nagpur session, it is very much important. Why? Because here what happened is that the Congress is going to endorse the non-cooperation movement. Although the Congress, it had accepted that particular non-cooperation in the earlier time period, but now what the Congress did is that it endorsed it. Why? Because whatever decisions the Congress takes, those decisions, they need to be endorsed during the General Assembly session. So the non-cooperation, it was endorsed here, but apart from that, one major development is going to happen, that an important change was made in the Congress's creed. That means the constitution. Here we can say that the Congress also adopted a new constitution, because it is going to change what it demanded earlier and the methodology. As to now, it will demand something else along with the methodology. So here, now what they had told is that instead of having the attainment of self-government through constitutional means as its goal, now the Congress told that it would have attainment of Swaraj through peaceful and legitimate means, thus committing itself to an extra constitutional mass struggle. So keep this thing in mind, my dear friends. Initially, the goal was what? Initially, the goal is going to be the particular self-government. And when I told you about Swaraj, for the first time, Swaraj, it was mentioned in the year of 1906. That means in the Calcutta session, when Dadabhai Nauroji is going to make this particular statement. However, at that point of time, Swaraj was not spelt about. Okay, it was not detailed. But majority of the people are going to consider Swaraj as self-government. Why? Because what had we seen here is that here there were two general interpretations of Swaraj, when in the previous sessions also I had explained to you, and those two interpretations, one is going to be the self-government and the another interpretation was independence. Now, and initially the Congress had that this particular gaining of self government, it is going to be through constitutional mechanisms. That means that whatever the Britishers allowed it through their laws and regulations, those methodologies are going to be adopted in order to gain this particular, okay, it is going to be utilized in order to demand this particular aspect of, okay, this particular aspect of the self government. So that was being told at that point of time by the Congress. However, now what the Congress has told is that now we shall not only be doing the legal methodologies, but now we want Swaraj through peaceful and legitimate means. Now these legitimate means, just focus on this, the legitimate means, it does not mean that they would function according to the constitution. Legitimate, it does not mean legal. Sorry, legitimate, here legitimate, it does not mean legal. Legitimate here, it means right. Because when we talk about legality aspect, at that point of time it was the Britishers who were deciding what was legal and what was illegal. So now when the Congress is telling that they would attain Swaraj, and here they had kept the word Swaraj vague. Some people are going to consider Swaraj to be self government, some people are going to consider that as independence. So here they kept the word Swaraj vague, and they are telling that we will take Swaraj through peaceful and legitimate means. Legitimate means that whatever things are right for us, through that mechanisms we will take it, and those legitimate means they are going to be non-violent in nature. That means what they are telling, they are focusing on the extra constitutional aspect. That means Swadeshi, non-cooperation and all those things they are going to be utilizing here in order to gain Swaraj. Now, when we talk about Swaraj, the Congress up till now had not accepted Swaraj, okay, in the context of full independence. For the first time in India, gaining independence was approved by the Congress in the time period of 1927 Madras session of the INC, when Jawaharlal Nehru is going to present a resolution in the independence aspect. So the idea of Swaraj as independent India, it for the first time was officially accepted by the Congress in 1927. So here when we are talking about the time period of 1920, what does Swaraj mean in 1920? So either it can be for majority people self-government, either for some it can be independence. However, they have kept it vague, and they told that they will get it through legitimate means. So now the Congress has basically told that whatever from now onwards will be our methodologies in any of the struggles that we do, those struggles it is going to be extra constitutional. So basically the Congress, it has adopted to a de facto means from now onwards, at a de facto level, whatever we have learnt in the extra constitutional aspect of struggle, that is Swadeshi, boycott, strike, protest, demonstrations, quoting yourself, arrest, okay, not accepting to the laws, so that all will be a part of the struggles from now on that the Congress will be doing. Means whatever movement the Congress will be doing, all these de facto, all these particular forms, they are going to act as a de facto forms of method that the Congress is going to adopt. So that is one thing. Moreover, what happened here is that some important organizational changes were also made. A Congress working committee of 15 members was set up to lead the Congress from now onwards. So what does this particular thing mean? It means that, for example, you are aware about the Council of Ministers. So a much more crispier version of Council of Ministers is the cabinet, wherein the important ministers are a part for taking important decisions. Like that also, the Congress working committee, it was a group of 15 important members who are going to be there whenever the Congress required to take certain steps. These Congress working members, they met and they are going to decide on taking these particular steps. All right, so that is going to be the scenario. Moreover, what was the idea here is that from now onwards, the provincial Congress committees, provincial Congress committees on linguistic basis were also organized. Now see here, the idea is of linguistic basis. Now see, what is the thing that you can also utilize this particular content in your mains examination. Because my dear friends, what the idea should generally be is that with limited content, maximum utilization. Limited content and maximum utilization. So when the UPSC in the post independence is also going to the linguistic reorganization of states, they are a part of your post independence. So here when the UPSC asks on the historicity of the linguistic reorganization of states, so what can you do is, in the home rule movement you had seen that Bal Gangadhar Tilak had one goal of linguistic reorganization. After that the Congress also has this goal. So here prior to independence only that linguistic aspect was there in the Indian sphere. So you can utilize this content in the means examination. Moreover, ward committees were also organized. So what we can take from here is that decentralization of a political party. Decentralization of a political party. So this is what we can understand from this particular statement. And this particular thing, it was, my dear friend, asked by the UPSC in the prelims examination. Then the non-cooperation movement, it was undertaken for the following reasons. So these are going to be the three goals of the non-cooperation movement. The first was to restore the status of the ruler of Turkey. Second was to avenge the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. And third was to secure Swaraj. Now here also I have written Swaraj as independence. But I have already explained to you that the Congress had kept it vague. They are not telling that Congress main aim is for complete independence. The Congress never said this in the year of 1920. But the Congress is going to accept to the idea of complete independence by adopting to a resolution in 1927. So in 1920, yet the Swaraj, for some it was independence, but for some it was self-government. And however, they would now attain Swaraj through extra constitutional mechanisms. And this is what I told you, that in the 1920, now the Congress had told that we will use extra constitutional mechanisms in our struggle. So now whatever movements will happen post 1920, for example, in the year of 1930, there was the civil disobedience movement. So automatically the extra constitutional mechanism will be a de facto method which will be used here also, because now the Congress constitutional creed itself has changed, which initially they utilized constitutional methods, now they will use extra constitutional methods. So this is another scenario.